This student asked Cliff on why is there no record of Jesus' life before he started his ministry. Watch as Cliff answer this question.
I think the evidence is that Jesus was born in late 5 BC or early 4 BC. How do we know that? Because we know that Herod was king. Well, Herod died in late 4 BC. So I think the monk who put together our calendar was a little off in his timing, and Christ was probably born late 5, early 4 BC, which means he probably started his ministry at about 27 AD and died in about 30 AD.
Okay. And he didn't reveal himself as Christ until around that time, right?
Yeah, he did not reveal himself as God in human form until he began slowly to do that in his public ministry, which began when he was about 30 years of age.
So back to that man's point about why nothing was recorded about his life before then.
Yeah.
No one would have any reason to, right? He's just a carpenter.
Well, sir, I can promise you the line of thinking that says, because the Gospels are silent about what Jesus did between the ages of 12 and 30, therefore they're not reliable, is so intellectually dishonest. I would never say, because to a Muslim that I'm debating, I would never say, well, because you don't have the details of Muhammad's life before he went into the cave and had those visions from Allah, therefore he's unreliable, or the Quran's unreliable. I mean, that is so dishonest. I mean, it'd be kicked out of court right away. I mean,
I agree with you.
what is history? No history book gives you every detail of a person's life. Every history is a selective account of what really happened. You know, the book, The Day Lincoln Was Shot, is about a 24-hour period of time. It's a big tome. But in spite of that, do you think every detail of what Lincoln did that last 24 hours of his life is included in that book? No. No history book can include every detail of somebody's life. It's a totally bogus argument to say, well, because the record of Jesus' life from 12 to 30 is not given us in the Gospels, therefore Jesus is unreliable. In John chapter 8, Jesus could look into the faces of his enemies and ask them, which one of you can prove me guilty of sin? His enemies were silent. I can promise you, sir, all you got to do is follow me around for 24 hours, and you'll have more than enough evidence that I am a sinner. John lived with Christ closely for 3 years. He never saw the man sin once. The enemies of Christ couldn't nail Christ with any sin. To try and argue, well, because we don't have the record of what exactly Jesus did between the ages of 12 and 30, therefore we can't trust him, is totally bogus. It shows an agenda on the part of that thinking person. It's really clear, it's scary.